this with you. I'm lazy. I'll sit for a little bit. So tonight's message, I'm going to have two questions for you, one of which is a scripture, and we're going to talk through it, and then we'll let you guys go. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? So the first question I have for you, and is who here still has access to like getting online? So I just know, because some of you are still in treatment and you can't get online, right? But there's a few of you who are online. So those of you who are online, has the giraffe had its baby yet? Anyone know? Anyone been watching? It hasn't had the baby yet? Okay. I have to find out. Everyone's sitting there watching this giraffe. And did you guys notice that as everyone was watching the giraffe and waiting for the giraffe, another giraffe at another zoo had a baby? And no one paid attention to it. They really did. I think the Denver Zoo had a giraffe baby, but no one was paying attention. They're going to get the slides up there for a second. I was a little late giving them the pictures for my slides, but the second question, and probably a little more important of a question than the giraffe at the whatever zoo that everyone's watching, it's a question that Jesus asked. And I think when Jesus asked his disciples and the people around him questions, we might want to think of our answer to that question. And the question, you can find it in the Bible if you look, okay? And the question is this: for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, yet loses his soul? I'm saying man, meaning any of us, right? What's it going to profit us if we gain the whole world, but in doing so, we lose our souls? We're going to talk through that tonight. We're going to digest that a little bit. We're going to look at this idea of profit, what it would mean to have the whole world, and simply what it would mean to lose our soul. Some of you were down. Who was at the street painting festival this past week? Pretty cool event, right? So I don't know why. I guess they're okay. That's working.
That's all we can do.
So some of you guys are at the street painting festival, right? Pretty cool. I was watching Facebook. I wasn't able to come down. I'm watching everyone's feed on the street painting festival. And then the next picture that we have there, that I guess they're going to bring up kind of weird here, rather than this, is this wonderful picture here. At the street painting festival, magically, I keep seeing this young girl's picture popping up on everyone's feed. I guess she made an appearance in downtown Lake Worth. Okay? She lives here locally. Anyone know her real name? Okay, we had someone who actually knows her real name, right? That's actually a beautiful thing. Okay? But most of us have no idea her name. We know her as the Catch Me Outside girl. Okay? And we laugh. And some of you paid $5 to take a picture with her. A selfie with her, because she was charging $5 for a selfie. Here we have a 13-year-old girl. 13-year-old girl running around the streets of Lake Worth, getting into a bar fight, taking videos in some guy's Mercedes. I guess she has some clothing line that's coming out now, and she's up in New York and this and that. How do you think this is going to work out in the end? She might inherit the world. She might get a lot of money. And I hope to God she doesn't lose her soul. That someone cares enough about her to speak the truth in love before it's too late. She's a daughter of the High King. I can promise you this, just like our addictions, when we chase this world, it does not end well. It doesn't end well. Anyone ever hear the concept that money is the root of evil? Anyone hear that? Can I tell you that that doesn't exist in Scripture? Okay? What is it? The love of money. Okay? Absolutely. The love of money. But if we're honest, most of us struggle with the love of money. The love of power. The love of fame. That we were chasing after these silly things. And I have to give credit to some of the ideas of my scripture tonight to a great preacher by the name of Spurgeon. And Spurgeon gave me a few of these points. He wrote a sermon in the 1800s. The 1800s, he wrote a sermon, and I think it's going to speak to your lives today. And he talked about this. He talked about this chasing. We chase love. We chase power. We chase money, respect, influence. And here's Spurgeon's quote. It's not going to be up on the screen. And I'm going to read you. It's written in the 1800s, so it's all that nice king's language, but bear with me. It says this: "How little will the applause of man seem when you come to die? What will fame and honor be when we are at the last article? Bubbles. Can your soul feed on bubbles? No, we shall despise such vanities. We shall say, fame, cease thy trump. Let me die alone. Bubbling fame, I hate you." He says deep. Bubbles. I love that. My kids love playing with bubbles. What's great about bubbles, right? That they're beautiful, but what happens? They pop, don't they? All these things that we chase after pop and disappear. But we make them the most important thing. And the most important things we forget. So if we gained all this world, think about that. We get it. The scripture says, what's the profit of man if he gains this world? So let's talk about that gain. Say you gain everything in this world. But 120 years from now, what's going to be the common denominator of all of us in this room? We're all dead. And if you gain this whole world, what's that going to matter? We try to gain these things that pop, that will pass. Chase, passing, fleeting things. Chase after the wind. So I read in the paper. I saw some of you guys down there with Cash Me Out Girl. I read in the paper, and actually pictures of some of you in the background with Cash Me Out Girl in the paper. And I read people saying they were starstruck. But only one person knew her name, and they knew her name probably more out of compassion and intentionality of remembering this as a person than being starstruck with some 13-year-old who hopefully one day will fall into a place like this rather than the other options that are out there. My heart breaks for the journey that she's on. So she's going around looking for $5. $5 and getting pictures with her, selfies with her. I don't know how much she made. It was a busy place down here, and there were a lot of photos with her popping up everywhere. Say she got $600. Say she got $300. What could we do with $300? How much of a difference in this world could it make? There's so much amazing things that are happening in this world. And we're chasing the wrong things. We're chasing the wrong things. We want fame, money, power, pleasure, Facebook likes, Snapchat, what is it on Snapchat? Code, I don't know what it is. But we're chasing these things. And I just want you to imagine for a second, you're facing the Maker. You're facing the Maker and you're taking an account for your life. And you're facing him and the absurdity of this, and all of a sudden this video pops up. Yeah, God, I know I was having sex with him or her or whatever, and but it got 10,000 Facebook likes. That should amount for something. Do we see how ridiculous it is? How crazy it is? Here's the point. Say you gain the whole world. Say you get all the wealth, all the pleasure, you have it all. It's meaningless. Chasing after the wind. It will not satisfy you. It never does. When we chase after the wrong things, it never satisfies. Just like our alcohol, just like our heroin, just like the drag, whatever it is that you've been chasing, you always want more. More, more, more. It never satisfies. Great Solomon talks about this, and he calls it a chasing after the wind. Some of you don't know who Solomon is or was. Solomon was considered the wisest man to ever live. God basically gave him a genie in the bottle moment and said, you can have whatever you want. And he asked for wisdom. And so he was extremely wise. But he also had more wealth and pleasure and more experience than any of us in this room could ever imagine. This chasing after the wind, this concept, growing up it was, okay, when summer break comes, I'm going to be happy. Then it was, okay, when I finally get a girlfriend, I'm going to be happy. Then it was, okay, if I graduate high school and get into a good college, then I'm going to be happy. And then you get into college, and when I get married, then I'm going to be happy. Some of you, it's when I get out of rehab and I go to IOP, I'm going to be happy. When I get out of this halfway house, I'm going to be happy. When I finish the steps, everything will appear to be perfect, right? When I get a raise, when I get married, when I have children, when they graduate college, when I pay off the student loans, when I get a divorce, when I have the grandkids, it's vanity, a chasing after the wind. Solomon, this wise man, he would make Donald Trump look like a pauper. Sometimes Donald looks like that anyway, if you think of his hair. He would make him look like a poor person. He had so much wealth. His income equivalent would have been billions every year when you look at how much money he had coming in. Extremely wealthy man. And he had more gold, more jewelry, he had fleets of ships, he had tons of wives and concubines, and anything you can think of, this man had. This man had it, and so billions of dollars, he's the wisest man in all of history. And this is what he says. In Ecclesiastes, we're going to read chapter 1. Right here. He says this. This is the words of the teacher. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors which they toil under the sun? I said to myself, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good. But that also proved to be meaningless. I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly, my mind still guiding me with wisdom. I wanted to see what was good for people to do under the heavens during a few days of their lives. I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted them all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds of flocks than any in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself, and the treasure of the kings and province. I acquired male and female singers, and a harem as well, the delights of a man's heart. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my labor, and this was the reward for all my toil. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done, and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless. A chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Here we have this insanely wealthy man who's experienced everything. By all definition, he has gained the whole world. And he's saying it's meaningless. It's pointless. You see, we're chasing the wrong things. We're chasing the things that aren't going to be here for us 120 years from now. So what's it profit a man if he gains the whole world? Not much. Some fleeting pleasure for a short time. So if we gain the whole world, it's not going to profit us much. But that's not all Jesus said, did he? What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So let's talk about that loss just for a moment here. You know, speaking of losing your soul is probably not politically correct today. Because we can decipher what Jesus is talking about there. And we'll get into that in a moment. But all the wealth of this world, all the good deeds in this world, can never buy your soul. Anyone in here ever lost something of substantial value? You lost a wedding ring. You lost whatever. When I was dating my wife, it was actually when we first started dating. We had just met, and I had a crazy earring in my ear, and I was being stupid. And she came in, and she was wearing these diamond earrings that her grandma had gave her. And I had just met her, and we're sitting in the college little rec area, the student center. And I decided to put the earring in my ear. And a couple minutes later, I hear her kind of gasp, and she looks at me, and the diamond had fallen out of my ear. And had somehow fallen down into the couch or something there in the student center. So what did we do? We looked for the diamond earring, right? It was valuable, and I'm changing that couch, we're lifting it up. I mean, we're doing everything we can, and we could not find that earring. We couldn't find it. But we looked for it, and we searched for it because it had value. More value to her. She's tearing up because it was her grandmother's, and that wasn't a very good thing for me to lose. God gives us some stories of some lost things. He gives us 3 stories. I'm going to talk about one just briefly, but each story, when something is lost, it's representing us being lost. And when it's found, God celebrates. The last thing in the story that God did, he talks about a lost coin, he talks about a lost sheep, and then he talks about a lost son. And the son goes to his father, takes his inheritance, goes, parties, spends it all on wild living. Spends it all on wild living. And the father waits for the son's return. And when the son returns, anyone know what the father does? Celebrates. He throws a party. What was lost has now been found. My son was dead and is now alive. We see in Scripture over and over again, not a talk about a God who is seeking after money or power or these things that for whatever reason we chase after that aren't going to keep you sober. Instead, we see a God who seeks after us when we've gone astray. We see a God who understands that we mess up. and seeks after that which is lost. Over and over, he's calling his children back to him. Why? He sees us valuable. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, says you're worth it. Your soul is valuable to him. He loves you. Your soul, just think about how valuable it must be. We know the price of our soul, the value of our soul when we start to learn about who Christ is. And when he was willing to lay down his flesh. When he was willing to be beaten, mocked, spit, and murdered for our soul. He bought your soul with his flesh and with his blood. Scriptures say, no greater love than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. And Christ laid his life down as a payment for ours. He purchased our souls with his body. That's how valuable your soul is. What loss it must be to lose your soul. What a loss it must be. The scriptures say, thank you, Rob, perfect timing. So again, what's it profit a man if he gains the world and he loses the soul? This world is filled with compromise. We're all tempted to compromise. We're all tempted to give in and to give in to the fleeting passions and desires of this world. But when we face God and we spend all of eternity with him, it's going to be like that bubble. And I don't know about you, but I know about me. I'm going to make a choice. A choice from today on. A choice to say, you know what, God? I'm going to look with eternity in mind. I'm going to look towards the value of my soul, towards having a right relationship with you, rather than the fleeting pleasures of this world and chase after the wind, because it will never satisfy. But you do satisfy. You do satisfy. Will you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I ask that tonight you continue to speak and minister to everyone's heart that's in this room. Help each of us to understand that we are not going to gain our